Our brand new cycle of basic space lands is now available for purchase at www.itresolvesmtg.com. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another gameplay video. Very excited to be hopefully getting up more than one gameplay or one deck per day here for the first part of this brand new set. Absolutely loving it so far. I hope you guys are. Today we are trying out a green-white counter base deck. So this is very much focused on +1/+1 counters. This is very much a stock list. I just want to mention there are a lot of different lists that are kind of featuring this kind of overarching mechanic. And this isn't by any means an end-all be-all to this list, but I do think the green-white list is a very decent starting point to just kind of play around with and see which way you want to take it. This was actually recommended on AetherHub as one of the great starting points to this deck, and so that's kind of where we pulled this list. So this is a bit of a stock one. I do think there are some different things you can go with, or different directions you can go with. But again, I just want to give you guys an idea of what you could start with here. So like I said, it is focused on +1/+1 counters. As such, Pelt Collector is of course going to be in here. It's a 1/1 for 1, but gets stronger every time you play a creature that is stronger than it. And then as long as it has 3 or more +1/+1 counters on it, it also gets trample, and it gets one of those counters every time you play a creature with greater power. So this, in tandem with things like Conclave Mentor, which is one of our brand new cards from Core Set 2021, is amazing because you play a Pelt Collector turn 1, you play a Conclave Mentor turn 2, and all of a sudden you have a 3/3 Trampler. It's very, very good. It's a 2/2 for 2. Anytime one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many +1 is put on there instead. And then when the Conclave Mentor dies, you actually gain life equal to its power. So this is a great card to not only enable the rest of the deck, but also keep you alive so you can get to some of the stronger pieces that we've got left in here. Now, some scalable threats here. We've got Stonecoil Serpent as a great way to just kind of, buff up something really, really late in the game, get something big down. It's got trample, it's got reach. Protection from multicolor is very, very good. And so this is really, really an all-star here. And then similarly, another kind of X spell that scales is Wildwood Scourge. Now this is, again, a new card. So it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Costs X and a green. Whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put on another target, on another non-Hydra creature you control, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Now, again, if a counter is put on anything, you get an extra one if you've got this out. So instead of 1, you get 2. And that obviously happens for all of this. So very, very good. Huatli's Raptor is here as a proliferator. So it's a 2/3 vigilance for 2, which is really just good anyway, but it also proliferates, so it's going to add up on all these counters. Gird for battle is another really efficient way to just kind of drop some counters on stuff very, very quickly and hopefully overpower the opponent. One of the brand new cards here is Basri Ket. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It's a 3-mana planeswalker for 3. You can +1 it, put a 1/1 counter on target creature, and it gains indestructible until the end of the turn. Now remember, anytime we're thinking about +1/+1 counters, hopefully we are getting extra ones. -2, whenever one or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. So this does also give you a way to go wide very quickly. And then at -6, you get an emblem with, at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a a 1/1 white soldier creature token. Then you put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. That is insane for this deck. Absolutely strong. Very, very excited to be playing with him because, again, this is a brand new card. I think it's going to be a fun one. Another new card, Basri's Lieutenant. 3/4 for 4 with vigilance and protection from multicolored, already pretty good. But when it enters the battlefield, you put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. When the lieutenant or another creature dies, if it had a 1/1 counter on it, you also get a 2/2 knight creature with vigilance in its place. So this gives you a little bit of built-in protection against a lot of removal, a lot of sweepers, pretty much anything. Very, very helpful card. Gemrazer here, kind of an odd one, I understand, but actually makes a lot of sense. One, it gives us a way to deal with artifacts and enchantments, which we need to have in this deck. We absolutely need to have ways to deal with stuff. There's a lot of artifacts and enchantments going around right now that are really important. We just played a Sanctum of All deck very recently, and so having something that can just kind of built-in destroy that stuff is great. It's also just a 4/4 reach and trampler, which is really good for 4. Now, we obviously a lot of times are going to be mutating this out, which means it's going to get all the +1/+1 counters and abilities of any of the other creatures we have. And so, generally speaking, this is 3 mana for a very, very powerful creature. And it also happens to kill an artifact or an enchantment if there is one. So this is a very, very good card in this list, in my opinion. At the top of the list, we've got Venerated Loxodon, which is kind of an older guilds card, but it's a 4/4 for 5. It does have Convoke, though, and any of the creatures that helped Convoke it out get a +1/+1 counter. So again, really, really building up those counters. As far as the lands go, we are running 24. Castle Ardenvale is in here, as well as Castle Garenbrig. 7 plains, 7 forests, 4 temple garden, and 4 fabled passage. So a fairly straightforward mana base here, and a fairly straightforward deck, actually. This is not a crazy complicated deck. However, it does have the ability to really, really do some damage quickly, and so I'm hoping we'll be able to get to see that. So that's my hope. I hope you guys enjoy these gameplay videos. We'll hopefully keep them coming out very, very strongly over the next few days. I've got a little bit to do. We've got some birthday things going on this weekend, so I'm going to unfortunately be running a little bit low on time. But I'm going to do the best I can to continue getting some videos up for you guys, so that way you've got a lot of stuff to watch. I took the last couple weekends kind of off. I just decided, you know what? I've been recording a lot. It's at the end of, a set, or right before a set release, and so a lot of people are more looking forward to that than, playing with the current standard cards. And so I decided to kind of leave things go for a little bit, but I'm really excited to be back, and hopefully we can keep a lot of content coming your way, because again, we want to keep content coming your way. We've got a lot of stuff that we like to put out there for you guys, so hopefully it's worth it. Also, just want to mention, the first 2 decks that we've played have all been... Oh, that's really good. Alright, look. This is terrible, but I'm doing this. This is such a bad way to do this, but we're going to try it. So the last couple videos have both been deck suggestions from our Discord channel by Turn 1 Soul Ring. First of all, I really appreciate it, Soul Ring. You always have great suggestions. We've got a lot of other people who have given us deck suggestions, and we are looking through those, so do not feel like you are left out. I promise you we will get to as many of them as possible. If you feel like we missed it, just send it again. Just be like, hey, just in case you missed it, here's the deck list. Because I know a lot of people were submitting some. Some of them we kind of weed out based on like how playable they truly are, because sometimes unfortunately they're just not super playable. That's not to say they're bad, they're just not, and so yeah, this is why this is a bad idea, by the way. But we did kind of burn. Okay, look, we're doing this. So I do want to just encourage everybody, if they would like to submit some decks, you are more than welcome to do so. We certainly would appreciate it. So that is there for you if you would like. Yeah, I played this wrong 100%. There's no doubt about it. But that's fine. Totally fine. I don't know if we could have played it better. I mean, we play this out and they would have just shocked it, so it's not really like necessarily bad, but what, my goodness, what in the world? Yeah, you got it, dude. Let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and do this because we kind of have to get this going. So now it's a 4/4. And next turn we can proliferate if nothing else, and then maybe get this down. But that's not good. Torbrand is bad. We're gonna block here. We gain 4 at least. Pelt Collector. Let's do this. Let's do this. Get a counter. Proliferate. Alright. I mean, it's the best we can do. Hopefully it's enough. I really doubt it, but we're gonna try. Okay. See what they want to do. We can double block if need be. Wow, rude. Okay. So we literally have to block like this. I know we misplayed, but I also don't necessarily think we would have won either way. So I don't actually think we're not in the wrong by any means, but okay. Well, we lose. Yeah, we just lose. Yeah. All right. Cool. That was a very quick game, at least. So let's go ahead and jump into game 2. Yeah, a little bit of that was me being a little silly, but I do think that that was a game that we were probably going to lose anyway, but that's okay. And again, I do want to mention this deck is, like I said, a very base list, so you can always kind of, you know, pick and choose where you want to go with this one. I think I've seen a number of 3-color versions, especially with things like the Ozolith that are, I think, really, really good for this deck. Just because the Ozolith is a card, I do want to kind of talk about the Ozolith. I weirdly have opinions on this. My thing with the Ozolith is every deck that I've played it in has been very underwhelming in terms of its usage of the Ozolith. Not that I think it's a bad card, but I'm saying it just didn't really do anything super exciting in those decks. Now, it's a weird hand, but we're going to try it. That again, not to say it's a bad deck or a bad card. I just didn't really. Maybe I wasn't playing it right. Maybe you know, something else is going on. I don't know, but I didn't seem to really get that much use out of it. I do understand what it can do, and so I think there's a high ceiling there. I just, excuse me, I don't think it was really doing it, doing the best it could when I was playing it, and so that was kind of my takeaway at least. However, there is a deck featuring, you know, obviously a lot of counters that does very, very well with it, and it is a 3-color deck. Now, I don't recall, might be Naya, not 100% sure, but it's a very, very strong deck, in my opinion. I think it's very, very good. So there is something there for that. Look, I'm going to do this. I know we got a Pelt Collector that kind of needs to come out soon, but this gives us a way to start swinging in. And leave up defense, so I kind of like that idea. Granted, they're probably going to be able to hit it with something pretty soon. This is just Teamer Elementals. Oh, nice. Good card. I do like that this deck has quite a bit of Vigilance, because obviously that's pretty good. Let's do this. Get a counter here. Yeah, I'll attack there. Kind of just don't want him to have Nissa. Interesting. Let's do this. So we get a 2/2, and we take care of 2 of their creatures. I'm kind of okay with that. Granted, that's a really good card, so like I hate trading that off, but you know, we set him back a little bit, so I'm okay with that. Wow, interesting. I guess they can get Thunderkin Awakeners back with Thunderkin Awakener, which is kind of silly, but let's throw this out. Let's throw this out. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna attack in again. Do we attack with this? No. That's fine. Alright, so now anytime any of our non-token creatures die, we get 2 2/2 knights, which is pretty good. Very interesting. We do kind of need some spells here. Well, that's a spell. Let's play that out. This is not an instant, worth noting. Let's get you in, and let's get you in. I want to give this trample as part of the idea here. Also, they can trade off with it, but that's kind of fine. Okay. I mean, they're kind of in the same boat we are, that they just need to draw a bunch of stuff, and unfortunately they haven't. We're getting knights for stuff that they're killing, so like I'm okay with that. Next turn we can definitely kill Nissa. But they can just, yeah, they're just gonna -8. Okay, well, that's pretty good. Yep. Okay, well, I mean, we knew they were gonna do it, so it is what it is, but we'll see if we can get there. It's gonna be a tougher battle now, but they also don't have cards in hand, which is pretty important, I think. Let's do this. We're just gonna hit both of these. Keep powering those guys up. I am gonna attack with everything. They can just kill one of these, but that doesn't really matter. Alright. Now we've got quite a number of very, very potent threats, so we just kind of... Oh, perfect. Oh, they shocked themselves. That's funny. Alright, game 2 we got. Feeling good. Really, really happy to get a game in where we do win. Let's go ahead and jump into our last game with this video. And then, of course, we will do our part 2, so we'll take another peek at it. Well, maybe. Game's going a bit slow, but that's fine. Everything's fine. I'm also uploading videos right now. Oh, we did so much that time. Okay, let's first look at our packs. Let's open our pack. I think this is pack number like 72 or 73 now that we've opened of this. And the only reason I know that is because we did a pack opening where we opened 69 of these, which I thought was funny. It's a good card actually to open. All right, let's jump into our last game with this one, guys. Let's see what we can do. Really, really like this deck, though. It's a very clean deck. I think it's just a very efficient, very synergistic deck. Doesn't always win, and that's okay. I think, again, you can toolbox this a little bit more than we have here, but I really, really do like it. We will keep this. We'll fetch a green with this, so that way we've got our double green, and we'll go ahead and do that at the end of the opponent's turn, so that way we can Gemrazer if we need to. We get to lead off with the Conclave Mentor as well, which is quite good. Just to ensure that we can start getting, hopefully, a good number of counters out. So let's do that first. Wildwood Scourge is actually a decent draw. They're not doing much. Let's do that. I'm gonna do this. Go ahead and get the extra counter first before we attack on the off chance that they had something, though, you know, chances are they don't. And that's okay. So now whenever we get more counters out, we just get to, you know, power this thing up even more. So we've got a very threatening board presence at the moment, which is great. Very good, in fact. Let's do this. Let's just do this for 4. Yeah. I mean, why not? We do run into, they may have like extinction events or some kind of sweeper, which is going to be kind of frustrating, but we'll hopefully be able to turn things around at some point if they do. Looks like a ramp deck, though. They might be like doing a casualties of war kind of thing. Cultivate being in standard right now is kind of awesome. Really stoked about that. Such a good card. Such a good card. Simic Ramp, man. Good stuff. We'll be playing a new Simic Ramp deck, I'm sure, at some point soon. Okay. That's fine. Gemrazer is great. That's an enchantment, for the record. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Oh, it doesn't actually matter, does it? We're just gonna do this. Okay, let's do that. Let's go over. Get to blow up an enchantment, which feels pretty good. Then that and that, because they both have trample, we're gonna put them there. And this now gets to power up. You can see the power level of the deck. There we go. So, I mean, that was about as optimal as we could have asked for. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. That's the shining example of if we can get there, that's what we want. So feeling pretty good about this deck. 2 out of 3 is not bad. I'm pretty happy with it. Considering what it is and that it is very much a base template. I'm pretty happy with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, of course, make sure to leave a like or a comment down below. I do really appreciate that. We are going to continue trying to push out as much content as possible with the new set release, so that way you guys have a lot of decks to watch. I hope you are enjoying it. Really hope you'll take the time to check out our Discord and our Patreon down below as well. Our website is there as well. That's a great hub for just kind of everything. We post all of our proxies there. Our videos get posted there. Articles get posted there. Pretty much everything. So please do go check all of those links out. We really would appreciate it. And again, thank you to everybody for watching. We certainly appreciate the support. So I will see you guys very, very soon with part 2 of this green-white counters deck. Very, very excited about this one.